Ready? Good morning, everyone. We will now call to order the Board of Supervisors meeting for Tuesday, October 7th. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yeah. Supervisors Kennedy,
Here.
Desmond,
Here.
Hume,
Here.
Vice Chair Rodriguez,
Here.
and for the record, Chair Cerna is absent.
Okay, will the clerk please read the cable statement?
This meeting of the Sacramento County Board of Supervisors is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel, on the Comcast and DirecTV Uverse cable systems. It is also live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Friday, October 10th at 6 o'clock p.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting can be viewed on demand at youtube.com/metrocable14. The Board of Supervisors fosters public engagement during the meeting and encourages public participation, civility, and the use of courteous language. The Board does not condone the use of profanity, vulgar language, gestures, or other inappropriate behavior, including personal attacks or threats directed towards any meeting participant. Seating is limited and available on a first-come, first-served basis. Each speaker will be given 2 minutes to make a public comment and are limited to making one comment per agenda off-agenda item. Please be mindful of the public comment procedures to avoid being interrupted while making your comment. Comments made by the public during the Board of Supervisors meetings may include information that can be inaccurate or misleading, particularly concerning topics related to public health, voter registrations, and elections. The County of Sacramento does not endorse or validate the accuracy of public statements made during these open public forums. The recordings are shared to provide transparency and access to the proceedings of public meetings. To make a comment in person, please fill out a speaker request form and hand it to clerk staff. The chairperson will open public comments for each agenda, off-agenda item, and direct the clerk to call the name of each speaker. When the clerk calls your name, please come to the podium and make your comment. If a speaker is unavailable to make a comment prior to the closing of public comments, the speaker waives the right to request to speak, and the clerk will file the request form in the record. The clerk will manage the timer and allow each speaker 2 minutes to make a comment. Off-agenda public comments will take place for a maximum of 30 minutes. The remainder of the agenda comments will take place at the conclusion of the time matters in the afternoon. You may send written comments by email to boardclerk@saccounty.gov. Your comments will be routed to the board and filed in the record. If you need an accommodation pursuant to the Americans with Disabilities Act or for medical or other reasons, please see clerk staff for assistance or contact the clerk's office at 916-874-5451 or by email at boardclerk@saccounty.gov. Thank you in advance for your courtesy and understanding of the meeting procedures.
Thank you. Will it stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any announcements?
I do not have any announcements. Our first item is just public comments relating to matters not on the posted agenda, and at this time we do not have any public comments.
Thank you. Will the clerk please call the next item?
The next item is consent matters, items 2 through 33, and I do have announcements for 2 of those items, items number 2 and item number 27. Item number 2 is to introduce an ordinance amending various sections of chapters 2.08, 2.09, 2.46, and 2.61 of Sacramento County Code to delete obsolete sections and establish the departments of Clerk of the Board, Public Information Office, and Office of Economic Development, reorganize government structure, and implement various related chart changes. And we will waive full reading and continue this item to October 21st for adoption, and also authorize the Department of Personnel Services to process a salary resolution amendment. Additionally, on item number 27 is also introducing an ordinance amending section 2.61.101 of chapter 61.101, title 2 of the Sacramento County Code regarding correctional health services, authority for payment of claims for medical services for inmate patients. Waive full reading and continue to October 21st, 2025 for adoption of this item.
Thank you. I do have Supervisor Kennedy in the queue.
Thank you, Chair. Please, item number 28, please.
Item number 28 is to retroactive authority to execute an agreement with Forenza Clean LLC not to exceed $940,000 for homeless encampment cleanup and disposal services within the unincorporated areas of Sacramento County, effective October 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, with the option for 2 one-year renewals.
Thank you, Clerk. I just wanted to point out a couple of things. One is, first of all, I understand that there was some controversy regarding Forenza Clean in another jurisdiction, and I understand that since that time that those issues have been resolved and that this contract in no way carries on the issues that were present in that contract, correct?
That's correct, Supervisor.
Okay, thank you. And then I also just want to say that, this is almost $1 million that we're spending on cleanup for specifically homeless encampments. And want to, for the record, show, because we look at our direct expenditures on homelessness all the time, but, this is $1 million that we're spending. So, when people question how much effort we're putting into our homeless efforts, this is something that is, you don't think about naturally, but it's significant coming out of our budget. So thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Hume?
Thank you. I'd just like to note a recusal on item number 6 due to campaign contribution.
Item number 6 is to approve bid awards to TPM Construction, North Star Construction and Engineering, Martin Brothers Construction, Expon Development Incorporated, and E.E. Gilbert Construction for job order contracts 264, 265, 266, 267, and 268, respectively, in the amount not to exceed $4 million. And our office will record a recusal for Supervisor Hume.
And Clerk, I imagine those will be done separate? Or can we still do the consent?
We can still do
okay, the
full
consent
consent if you like.
Okay, we have a first and a second.
And that item does pass unanimously with those members present.
Okay, and Clerk, do you want to move to some separate matters that are not timed?
We can go to item number 37. Item number 37 is the Board of Supervisors 2025 appointments from own ranks to California State Association of Counties Board of Directors and Urban Counties Caucus. Our office is looking for a recommendation or an appointment from this board today to represent we'll refer to it as CSAC for the next year. Currently seated in these seats, the member is Supervisor Desmond, with the alternate is Patrick Hume.
Well, if there are if Supervisor Desmond and Supervisor Hume remain the same, I'll go ahead and move for approval. And then let us vote.
And that item does pass unanimously with those members present.
Okay. Will the clerk please call the next item?
The next item is item number 38, and that is for the board to consider nominations and appointments to boards and commissions. We are continuing to the meeting of October 21st, 2025, the Adult and Aging Commission, the Local Child Care Planning and Development Council, North Highlands Community Planning Advisory Council, the Sacramento County Youth Commission, and the Southeast Area Community Planning Advisory Council. We're also continuing to the meeting of November the 4th, 2025, the Cordova Community Planning Advisory Council, County Service Area 4B, Slough House Wilton Casumnes, County Service Area number 4C, Delta, the Equal Employment Opportunity Advisory Committee, the Public Financing Authority of the County of Sacramento Metro Air Park Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District. And that leaves us for today's items, which are the Carmichael Community Planning Advisory Council. Supervisor Desmond, we are looking for you have 4 vacancies for District 3 nominations.
Please reappoint Sharon Davis, Brett Hogue, and Greg Smith, and nominate Martin Ross.
Thank you. For the Cemetery Advisory Commission, there are 3 seats available. One from Chair Cerna's office, who is absent. My notes show that he is wishing to continue to the meeting of November 4th, 2025. And Supervisor Rodriguez, there is 1 District 4 nomination.
I will nominate Sally Williams.
For the Casumnes Area Planning Advisory Council, Supervisor Rodriguez, there's 2 District 4 nominations.
Please nominate Matthew Benjamin and continue the remaining until October 21st.
Thank you. For the Maternal, Child, and Adolescent Health Advisory Board, Vice Chair Rodriguez, there are 15 seats available.
Please appoint Kimberly Grimes and Tara Taylor, and the remaining seats to November 18th.
Thank you. For the Sacramento County Behavioral Health Commission, there are 4 seats available. Supervisor Desmond, there's 1 District 3 nomination.
Please continue to November 4th.
And for Supervisor Rodriguez, there are 2 District 4 nominations.
Please continue to November 18th.
And Supervisor Hume, there's 1.
Apologies. I would like to nominate John Durbin to public interest seat.
Thank you. For the Sacramento County Behavioral Health Youth Advisory Board, there are 3 seats available on this board. For Supervisor Rodriguez, there is 1 District 4 seat.
Please continue to October 21st.
And for Supervisor Hume, there are 2 District 5 nominations.
Please continue to November 4th.
For the Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Commission, Supervisor Hume, there's 1 District 5 nomination.
I'd like to continue to November 4th.
And for the Sheriff's Community Review Commission, Supervisor Hume, there's 1 District 5 seat available.
Please continue to October 21st.
Thank you. And lastly, for the Veterans Advisory Commission, Supervisor Hume.
I'd like to nominate Austin Ashe.
Thank you. And Vice Chair Rodriguez, I believe that concludes all of the business that we can handle this morning
Okay.
outside of our timed items.
Great. We will take a recess and return at 10 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let us resume the Sacramento County Board of Supervisors meeting for Tuesday, October 7th. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Supervisors Kennedy.
Here.
Desmond. Here. Hume. Here. Rodriguez.
Here.
Chair Cerna is absent. We do have a quorum.
Okay, will the clerk please call the next item?
Item number 34, you are acting as the Sacramento County Tobacco Securitization Corporation. I will note that Member Williams is absent from the meeting this morning, and it is an approval of previous minutes, adopt fiscal year 2025-26 budget, and receive and file fiscal year 2024-25 audited financial report.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. I'm Colin Bettis, the County Debt Officer. As the clerk mentioned, there are 3 items before you today as the directors of the Sacramento County Tobacco Securitization Corporation, approval of the minutes of the prior meeting, which was held on October 8th, 2024, approval of the fiscal year 25-26 recommended budget, and a receive and file of the fiscal year 24-25 audited financial report. There are no significant changes from the prior year budget request. Audit services continue to increase as anticipated. And additionally, you will note that there is an increase for prior year treasury costs that we were invoiced for late that'll be paid in the current fiscal year. The audited financial information is a receive and file item, and it was determined at the opinion of the auditors to be presented fairly in all material respects. At this point in time, I request that you consider the recommendations of staff, and that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Colin. Are there any requests to speak?
I do not have any.
Move staff recommendation.
Thank you, Colin.
That item does pass unanimously with those members present.
Okay, will the clerk please call the next item?
Item number 35 is a County Service Area Number 1, Zone Number 1, public hearing on the benefit category change and levy of increased service charges for the Sacramento Metro Fire District Station 67 project.
Hi, good morning, members of the board. Dawn Pimentel with County Engineering. The Sacramento Metro Fire District Station 67 is located on the east side of Bradshaw Road, approximately 100 feet south of Vintage Park Drive, and consists of a 10,300 square foot, 3-apparatus bay fire station with a pertinent office and living space and associated site improvements. The project was approved with a use permit and design review on August 7th, 2025. In response to the project's condition of approval required prior to the building permit issuance, the project proponents submitted an application requesting the initiation of the benefit category change process. In response to that request, a notice and Proposition 218 protest ballot was mailed to the property owner on August 22nd, 2025. The project's existing parcel is currently in the safety light only category and is assessed $2.56 annually. After the benefit category changed to the enhanced street and safety light residential category, the increased annual service charge will be $65.52. If there are no questions from the board, we recommend that the board open the public hearing, consider written and oral testimony and objections and protests, and close the public hearing, and then direct the clerk to tabulate the returned protest ballot.
Okay, we will now open the public hearing to consider all written and oral testimony from interested persons and consider all objections and protests to the proposed increased service charges. Are there any requests to speak?
There are not.
Okay, we will now close the public hearing and for the clerk to tabulate the returned protested ballot.
So our office has received one protest ballot back from the legal owner Sacramento Metro Fire District, parcel number 122014010, site address of 8101 Bradshaw Road, Sacramento, California, 95829, my apologies, and with a yes vote.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Since there is no majority protest, we request the board adopt the attached resolution to confirm the levy increased service charges for the Sacramento Metro Fire District Station 67 project. And I would like to read the record for the fill-ins for the resolution.
Okay.
Okay. In Section 2, at the close of the hearing, the board received 0 written protests. And in Section 3, at the close of the tabulation, the board received 1 protest ballot totaling 100% of the total service charges to be levied, of which 100% was in favor of the benefit category and 0% were in opposition to the change of the benefit category.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move approval.
All right, would the clerk please take a ballot? All right.
The item does pass unanimously with those members present.
Thank you. Would the clerk please call the next item?
Item number 36, PLMP 2024-00198, Smile Market, PCN, a letter of public convenience or necessity for the sale of alcohol with a Type 21 ABC license for a property at 2950 Bradshaw Road at the intersection of Bradshaw Road and Folsom Boulevard in the Cordova community. The applicant is Small Products Group and Brandon Sayo, APN 068-02100-023-0000.
Good morning, board members. Kimber Gutierrez, Principal Planner with Planning and Environmental Review. The applicant is requesting to continue this item to the November 18th hearing to allow more time to meet with you all and to discuss the project.
Okay, and I understand there's one request to speak?
That is correct. We have one request to speak, and that is Mr. Chuck Shaw.
Good morning, Mr. Shaw.
Good morning, Honorable Supervisors. My name is Chuck Shaw. I am the supposed-to-be retired operating officer of Fight Development Company, 9857 Horn Road, Sacramento. We have no issue with the continuance, but would like to emphasize to the board that this is the second time this application has come forward. The first application did not make it all the way to the board. For those of you who know me, and a couple of you do, and appropriately referred to me as a dinosaur, that is correct. But the one thing that I have learned in the three and a half decades of appearing before the Planning Commission, the County of Sacramento, and the Board of Supervisors is working. If you have an issue with an application, try to meet with your neighbors, try to have the conversation. We have twice tried the first application, actually meeting with the applicant, request that they consider a Type 20 beer and wine license versus a full liquor license. We have a very, very difficult issue with the unhoused population. If you're not familiar with a specific area, the market is part of a common area parking lot that is shared with the rink, which is also a plus 30-year-old roller skating rink, which has become a true community asset for the Rosemont and Rancho Cordova communities. For family entertainment, there is no liquor sold there. There is a large presence of minors. We have also a small industrial building, 2,400 or 24,000 square feet, primarily occupied by Goodman. All of these tenants share this parking field. Most of our time in this area, as far as property management is concerned, is trying to work with the unhoused community, asking them not to interfere, reduce acts of violence or vandalism, occasional problems with alcoholism. We work very close with the Sac County POP team on both sides of the border, Rancho Cordova directly on the opposite side of Bradshaw Avenue. And as well as they do, we do attempt, as well as they do, we still have to employ private security, Securitas, to patrol the areas and help manage this area. We are willing to meet with the applicant. We're willing to have this conversation, but as long as they continue with a Type 21 full license, we have to remain in opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
Thank you.
And I do have Supervisor Kennedy in the queue.
Thank you, Chair. This is in District 5, but I just wanted to say that I have heard that there was difficulty meeting, as Mr. Shaw stated, difficult meeting with this applicant, and the neighbors have made attempts and had no luck. And just as staff said, that they're looking to meet with individual members of the board, and I would be more than happy to meet with members of the applicant team once they have met with their neighbors and showed good faith.
Thank you. Okay, and at this point, we'll continue this item.
That's correct. I believe that there's another in the queue to speak.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Supervisor Hume.
Ditto.
All right. Will the clerk please call the next item?
Well, we need to take a vote to continue the item.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
I'll move to continue the item to the November meeting.
And that does pass unanimously to continue this item to November the 18th. And item number 37, my apologies. Item number 39 is county executive comments.
Thank you, Nicole. Supervisors, I just wanted to give you two quick updates. One, I wanted to give you an update on behalf of Chair Cerna, who's been working closely with Supervisor Rodriguez, my team, the City of Sacramento, and others to plan the first-of-its-kind joint meeting to address issues around homelessness. This meeting is being scheduled for October 28th in the Library Galleria here across the street from us, and it will include local leaders to discuss ways to strengthen and collaborate and address homelessness. Elected officials will include all 5 of the Board of Supervisors, all the City Council and the Mayor. It'll also City of Sacramento Council and the Mayor, and it'll also include representatives from each of the incorporated cities. At least all of them were invited. The agenda will include hearing updates from the city and the county on the work around homelessness, basically their progress and possibilities. The county will also provide an update on behavioral health efforts serving the unhoused and the legal pathways to treatment. The team will also be giving an update on the federal funding impacts and homelessness and the other safety net programs. And then in the afternoon, we'll have a facilitated visioning session to address homelessness and where, as a larger body, where they would like to see as a region where we're going. The goal of that session is to build a stronger, more collaborative approach countywide to address homelessness. The second item I had for you, more on the good news side, additional items to chat about is this picture you see here. This is Sacramento County's Stockton Boulevard Safe Stay was recently awarded the Best Community Improvement Project by the American Society of Civil Engineers. The Stockton Boulevard Safe Stay community was a groundbreaking collaboration between the state of California, the county of Sacramento, and the city of Sacramento. We worked with their contractors to provide innovative elements to the overall design and success of the project, which opened in December of 2024. Here accepting the award is Director of Homelessness Amy Halcon. I just wanted to congratulate the state, the county, and the city for such a collaborative effort, and also wanted to thank the board for your support and on this award-winning project. So thank you very much.
Oh, congratulations to them. Okay, I don't see any supervisors in the queue to speak. I do have Supervisor Desmond.
Just very quick, thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I had the opportunity to go on a tour of our newest safe stay on Watt Avenue with Supervisor Rodriguez the other day, and just I couldn't be more impressed with the progress we've made there. And building on what we've done on Stockton Boulevard and Florin Road and East Parkway and Supervisor Kennedy's district, I just am extremely impressed at how this site is developing. Now, I'd like it to get online as soon as possible to start helping people, as you know, but I just think this is really a signature project for this county, and I think it's really something we need to showcase statewide. So thank you to staff for spending time with us that tour, and look forward to more tours to come and this opening as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay. I would like to take a moment to recognize Zittle Farms, a family-run farm that has been part of our community for nearly 50 years. Roger and Gail Zittle have created a space where families from across the region come across every fall for pumpkins and hayrides, and each winter for Christmas trees. Beyond the seasonal fun, it is a space for making memories, keeping traditions alive, and sharing the joys in the community. I also want to recognize the Sheriff Pop Team, CHP, Code Enforcement, and the District Attorney's Office. My office has received many calls and seen numerous social media posts about advertised as legal sideshows, but they are not, near Watt Avenue, and these teams have responded with dedication, coordination, and teamwork. Their effort makes a real difference in keeping our neighborhood safe, and the community truly appreciates everything they do. I also want to give a shout out to Michelle Setcher, who recently won the gold at the 2025 World Rowing Championships in Shanghai in the lightweight women's single sculls. With multiple Olympic appearances under her belt, her perseverance, dedication, and hard work are inspiring, and her accomplishments bring pride to everyone in our community. And that is all for comments. With that, we will adjourn at 10:15.